Hello YouTube and welcome back to Square Gaming. I'm your host Dante and today we're talking about, you guessed it, Grand Theft Auto 6. Now I know what you may be thinking. Dante, there is no official word on the game. Dante, the game hasn't even been announced yet. And while that is correct, it would be safe bet to say that the next installment of this great series will be released around fall 2019. See, since Vice City, Grand Theft Auto has always been released in intervals that increase by 1 year. There was a 3-year difference between Vice City and the Xbox release of San Andreas, a 4-year difference between the PS2 release of San Andreas and the release of Grand Theft Auto 4, a 5-year difference between Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5. Also note that Red Dead Redemption was released in 2011, 2 years prior to the release of Grand Theft Auto 5. Knowing that these intervals exist, coupled with the fact that Red Dead Redemption is confirmed to be released next year, I can almost guarantee that we will see the release of a new Grand Theft Auto in 2019. With that being said, now is a better time than ever to let Rockstar know exactly what we want from Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm going to start off here with what may be a controversial opinion. Get rid of multiple playable characters in the main story. Yeah, it's nice to see all the different personalities, but by splitting up the story, it makes each character have less depth than their predecessors. The only type of real character development seen throughout Grand Theft Auto 5 is by Michael, only in the sense that he becomes more of a family man. At the end of the game, Franklin is still concerned about one thing and one thing only, which is making money. At the end of the game, Trevor is still, well, Trevor. The characters in this game didn't have the development or the depth that Tommy had in Vice City, Nico had in 4, or CJ had in San Andreas. Speaking of CJ, I would absolutely love to see the amount of customization from San Andreas make its way into Grand Theft Auto 6. The character was dynamic to how you played. He would gain or lose weight. You could go to the gym, make him huge, his personality and sex appeal would differ depending on how you acted, and there was every clothing and hair option under the sun. The depth of the customization was insane, and the customization didn't even stop there. It made its way to the cars. You could wrap decals all over nearly any car, put hydraulics on them, nitrous, and much more. And this is just in a single-player campaign. The customization in Grand Theft Auto 5 was good, but not nearly as good as they had done in the past. Another thing we want as gamers, make online available at launch. Everyone hated waiting around for a month just to play with their friends. And when they were finally able to, multiplayer didn't work. There were constant glitches, you'd get kicked out of lobbies, you would be waiting to get into a lobby, your cars and money would disappear, and that's just only a fraction of what would go wrong. That was a huge mess up on Rockstar's part, and they've got to make sure it doesn't happen again. One of the biggest things I'd like to see is a new area. We've covered Los Santos/San Andreas twice, Liberty City 3 times, and Vice City twice. It's time to mix things up, and I can't help but find myself longing for a Grand Theft Auto set in either St. Louis or Chicago, somewhere Midwestern with suburbs full of forests and cliffs, and a big city to base everything around. Also, with both cities having such high crime rates, they would give a lot of material for them to base a story around. The last thing we'd like to see is a more dynamic world. It was one of the promises that Rockstar failed to meet with the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I just think it sounds super innovative. To have a fluctuating stock market that you can influence in a good or bad way depending on how you play, to have destructible environments, and to have the world and the NPCs within that world respond to your actions, which is possible because they did it with the honor and fame system in Red Dead Redemption. If Rockstar makes these changes, then I think we're in store for a revolutionary game. So there you have it. That is what we at Square Gaming want from the next installment in the GTA series. If there's anything that you think we missed, or that you would like to see in the next game, make sure to say something in the comments so we can talk about it. On that note, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a bunch of content coming out in the near future, and can't wait to show it to you. Have a great day, guys.
Come back anytime.